Spider-Man Hostile Takeover is a prequel to the video game Marvel's Spider-Man. It was written by David Liss and was published in 2018 by Titan Books. This novel takes place a few months before the events of the video game. There's an imposter Spider-Man going around committing crimes, attempting to frame the original and prove he's the real one of the two. Spider-Man's investigation leads him to suspect that Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, is involved somehow. Spider-Man teams up with police detective Yuri Watanabe to track down the evidence to clear his name and incriminate the Kingpin. Meanwhile, Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson's relationship is tested as Mary Jane pursues her own investigation towards Fisk as she starts her job as a reporter for the Daily Bugle. And now for my thoughts. This book was not bad. It was a pretty easy read and the pacing was pretty good, and it wasn't hard to follow at all. My issues with this book were mostly that I didn't find it suspenseful or very exciting, and to be honest, it didn't really offer much. Now, I'm not referring to some of the circumstances that may later be explored within the game, like the Kingpin or Peter and Mary Jane's relationship, because if you played the game, then you know what's about to happen. But it was still interesting to see how some things officially happened. I'm mostly referring to things like the imposter Spider-Man. Not to spoil too much, but everybody, police and citizens included, already suspect it's an imposter when he first appeared, which eliminated the suspense and the tension, and they reveal pretty early in the book who the imposter is, and I wish there was more of a build-up. This next part is a nitpick, but it's regarding the cover. It's a cool cover and the artwork is great, but I didn't see the need to feature the new advanced suit on the cover. I get that they possibly wanted to make sure that people knew what this book ties into, and at the time to avoid spoilers for the game, since this book was released weeks before the game was. But if you played the game before reading this novel, then you know when exactly he gets the suit, and I just thought that it would have made more sense just to feature his old suit. And plus, the simple tag telling us it's a prequel to the game works just fine. I did think this book had a great cast of characters. We have characters that were featured in the game in some way, and we also had some characters that, while not featured in the game, are from other comics. I won't say who all of them are, but I will say that at least one of them was also featured in the Hawkeye show recently. Now, do I recommend that you read Spider-Man Hostile Takeover? I'm going to say, sure. Do I think it offers anything absolutely new to the game? Not really, because again, you know how some things happen if you played the game, and honestly, the game hardly, if ever, even mentions anything that happens in this book. So while it's an easy read and a fun story, there wasn't a lot of tension or suspense, and it was just pretty straightforward. So with that, I'm going to give Spider-Man Hostile Takeover a B. Thanks so much for checking out this review. I hope that you enjoyed it, and as always guys, if you're enjoying my content, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. New Year's Day is almost here, and I'm going to try to squeeze in a couple of more Spider-Man reviews before the year is over. Thanks so much again, guys, and I'll see you next time.